Associating with people always being in the midst of people displays to you more of you are not good enough more than you are good enough. And that will either build you up or tear you apart depending on how you perceive them. Always being in the midst of people easily displays to you more of your flaws or your limitations more than your perfectness. And that can build you up if you can highlight some of those your flaws or your limitations and start working on them for further improvement. But that can tear you apart if you start accumulating those flaws and limitations of yours in your mind without taking any action or without making any move towards working on them. That no taking action of yours will subject you into gradually nursing up in your mind the belief and the conclusion that you are a failure, and you will see yourself sliding down into the pit of depression and bitterness. See, the remedy to this kind of depression and bitterness is firstly identifying or highlighting your flaws or your limitations, and secondly taking actions towards working on them. That is why it is said that any problem that its cause or its source or its origin is known is halfway solved. Therefore, your identified or your highlighted flaws or limitations minus plus your actions towards working on them equals to limited or no depression or bitterness. While on the other hand, being a lone wolf, that is always being alone, displays to you more of you are good enough more than you are not good enough. And that will either build you up or tear you apart depending on how you perceive them. Always isolating yourself from people easily displays to you more of your perfectness more than your flaws, and easily seeing widely your perfectness more than your flaws makes you very proud, very contented, very independent, and very decisive. This is why introverts hardly change their mind after making up their minds or after taking decisions. But your inability to identify most of your flaws or your limitations due to your lack of association or your lack of interaction or your lack of relation with people can or will subject you into becoming a very big, proud, ignorant failure if care is not taken. So, ladies and gentlemen, to converge all my said at one point, I say to you, spending time with people easily shows you your flaws or your limitations if you really have. And that can either build you up or tear you apart depending on how you perceive them. While spending time with yourself easily shows you your perfectness if you really are. And that can still either build you up or tear you apart depending on how you perceive them also. So the powers to change or to improve yourself are in the choices of yourself. Your choices, your life. The improvement of yourself depends on yourself. So how is yourself working for the improvement of yourself? The question to be digested in yourself. Now, to balance yourself, here are my advices and my suggestions to you. If you're having the sensation or the belief that you are of no flaws, that you are of no limitation, that you are full of perfectness, I suggest you spend time with people for a while and you will identify some of your hidden flaws or limitations. But if you are having the sensation that you are becoming of nothing good or that you are of nothing good, I suggest that you spend time with yourself for a while and you will identify some of your hidden potentials or some of your hidden perfectness. But mind you that both of them can either build you up or tear you apart depending on how you perceive them. This is because the improvement of yourself is steadily dependent on the choices of yourself. So I suggest you push yourself to work for the improvement of yourself.